I just want to go home and lie down already. I really just want to have a good night's sleep for once. But my mom keeps nagging at me to study, and she says that just because midterms are over, that doesn't mean I get to slack off. Well, we are in our senior year after all. If you want to get into a good college, you're going to need to study harder. It just feels like senior year is never going to end at this point. Still, shoving that many fries into your mouth at once isn't really going to help with anything, is it? I can't help it. It's stress eating. I've just accepted that I'm going to gain weight this year. Oh my goodness, look over there. What? What is it? You're acting like some kind of celebrity just walked in. Your brother is here! He's getting fries, too. Oh, really? And why should I care about that? That's just something about your brother, you know? He has this glowing aura. I just can't explain it. Glowing aura? I'm not sure what you mean by that. All I see is the same ugly pig I have to live with. Do you always ignore him like this if you see him out in public? Yes, I do. Nothing good ever comes out of talking to him, so I just don't. You two are so weird. Why do you think so? Well, you two are twins, but you never want to have anything to do with each other. Aren't twins supposed to have some kind of special connection that other people can't understand? Well, my grandmother said that the umbilical cord was tangled when we came out. What are you talking about? It's a silly story and it will take too long to explain, but essentially, she claimed that it was tangled because we'd been fighting in the womb. She said that we had probably been enemies in our past life, and we were reincarnated as twins in this one as punishment for the bad things we did to each other. So apparently, that's why we have such a bad relationship. That's so funny. I guess that explains it to an extent. I always thought it was so interesting how you both have such good relationships with the rest of your family, but don't get along with each other. Even though you go to the same school, you never acknowledge each other and basically act like you're strangers. Our personalities just clash too much. Talking to him is always way more trouble than it's worth. Anyway, why are you so interested in my relationship with my brother anyway? Well, your brother is so smart and good-looking. It's difficult not to be interested in him. He may look good on the outside, but I'm telling you, studying is the only thing he's good at. His personality sucks and he's so entitled. He thinks he's so much better than me for literally no reason. Last summer, we still hadn't waterproofed the roof of the house, and water ended up seeping in. It ended up only getting into his room, and he made such a fuss, saying that I needed to switch rooms with him immediately. Both of us had the same exams to worry about, but he acted like only his were important and that he didn't care whether I had a place to study or not. Even so, I feel like it isn't nice for you to hate your own twin brother so much. Just drop it already. I don't want to talk about him. Soon I'll have to go home and see his ugly mug. So I don't want to waste the precious time I don't have to spend with him talking about him. You have no idea what it's like to live with him. I might just die if things go on like this for any longer. It seems to me that the problem here is that you're both too similar. That's why you don't get on.
Do you really have to make me come and wait for you outside your office just to get a chance to meet you, Stephen?
Did I tell you to do that? No, you decided to do that by yourself.
But we need to talk, Stephen. We need to talk about us.
To be honest, I don't really have anything to say to you right now.
What on earth is wrong with you? Why are you being like this?
I just really don't think that we're very well suited to each other. We come from completely different backgrounds, and I feel like that leads to there being lots of other fundamental differences between us. That's why I said I needed time to think about our relationship.
You may think I'm being shallow for saying this, but did you think about how this makes me look after we started talking about getting married? We work for the same company and everyone knows our business. Gossip spreads fast, and it's going to be humiliating for me if people find out that you broke up with me just when we were starting to discuss marriage.
I didn't say we were definitely breaking up. I said that I need time to think.
If you think we're so different because of our upbringings and that we don't have anything in common, what have you even been doing dating me all this time?
I told you that I need some time to figure things out. Can you not be respectful of that and leave me alone for a while instead of coming to find me when I never asked you to? Do you think that I won't break up with you right here, right now?
Oh, so you are going to break up with me.
How long do we need to wait to get served around here? What kind of restaurant leaves their customers sitting around for more than 10 minutes without even offering them a menu?
They have one of those little bells on the table to get the waiter's attention. Let's try pressing it.
Calm down. You only need to press it once. There's no need to press it over and over like that.
Hi there. How can I be of service? I'm so sorry. I forgot to come over and give you your menus. This is unacceptable service. I am very unimpressed. I'm so sorry. One of the other waitresses had to leave immediately because she felt very ill, and I was a bit taken aback by the situation, so I wasn't able to attend to you straight away. I'm so sorry. I still don't think that's an adequate enough excuse. No matter how taken aback you were by your colleague's mishap, you should have known to carry on as usual like a true professional. Do you really think it's okay to leave customers waiting like this? I'm so sorry. It's just that she passed out from the pain in her appendix or something, and... I don't care! You still should have prioritized the customers in this situation. The customer always comes first. Is that or is that not the basic rule of the service industry?
I'm really sorry, miss, but I think we'll have to get going.
I deeply apologize for the inconvenience caused, and I understand your frustrations.
Oh no, it's fine, don't worry. Even so, we drank this tea whilst we were waiting, so I'll at least pay for that. We can't just leave without paying.
Oh no, it's fine. You really don't need to. It's on the house. If you're busy, I won't keep you here any longer.
Thank you. I do have business to attend to, so I will have to get going.
What are you doing, Stephen?
I'll just pay for these and then we'll leave. Thank you.
Honestly, you really don't need to pay for anything.
As my companion says, the customer always comes first. So if it is my wish to pay for this tea, then I would appreciate it if you would let me.
What's gotten into you?
Can you please let go of me? I really don't like you clinging onto my arm like that.
Why did you just leave the restaurant without ordering anything? We didn't have the chance to sit down and talk about things properly. What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with me? Let me tell you exactly what I dislike the most about dating you and why I'm hesitating as to whether getting married to you is the right decision or not.
What? What have I done?
That's the thing. Your incredible lack of self-awareness and your inability to see when you've done something wrong are quite shocking.
I still don't get it.
Why did you have to make such a big fuss in the restaurant? The waitress is a person too, you know. Why did you have to talk to her as if she was nothing but a piece of dirt? What makes you think you have the right to speak down to her like that? What's so great about you anyway? You haven't achieved anything for yourself in your entire life. There's hardly any merit to having the good fortune of being born to rich parents, you know. The only reason you even got into a good college and got a good job is because of their connections. What have you ever done that gives you the right to have this air of superiority?
But the waitress was at fault in that situation.
Even so, she apologized profusely and explained the situation to us. What more did you want from her? There was no need for you to carry on giving her a hard time even after she apologized. It really wasn't that big of a deal.
It was unprofessional of her.
Who are you to decide what's professional and what's unprofessional? Have you ever worked as a waitress? I bet you haven't. You obviously never needed to get a part-time job during high school and college. Put yourself in their shoes for a second. It's actually a very demanding job. Just because a waitress may not have received higher education or may be in a worse financial situation than us doesn't automatically give you the right to treat them badly. Most of the issues that happen in restaurants aren't even the waiting staff's fault, but they get the blame because they're the faces the customers see. Think about how your words and actions affect people every once in a while and don't treat waiting staff like that. I'm fed up of you causing scenes like this. It makes me embarrassed to be around you.
Why are you nagging at me? You're so annoying. Whatever. I don't care anymore. Let's just not get married at all. I don't want to be with someone who would take some waitress's side against me.
You really want to call the whole thing off?
Yes, I do.
Okay, fine. Let's do that then.
Wait, what? Are you actually leaving right now? You can't! fight for our relationship.
Why would I do that when you just very clearly expressed that you'd like to end things? All I'm doing is respecting your wishes.
Why does he have to be so annoying all the time?
I know this maybe wasn't the best approach to take, but I needed to make sure she knows that she doesn't have all the power in this relationship. I need to make sure things are more balanced. And I think it worked. I found a good reason to make her look bad, put her in her place, and come out with the moral high ground. I'm a genius.
So basically, Steven and I have decided to go ahead with the engagement, and I figured it was time for me to go ahead and introduce myself to you all.
Ah, I see. So that's why you've come round to our house today.
Yes, that's right.
She's very condescending. I'm not sure I like her at all. He did say that he was considering getting engaged to the girl he'd been seeing a couple of months ago, but then he said that you had broken up.
We did break up, but now we're back together. I called this morning and we had a conversation in which we agreed to get back together and move forwards with the engagement. Was it not you who picked up the phone and passed me over to him?
What on earth am I meant to say to this girl? Hi, Mom! I'm back! Oh, hi, sweetheart! What's in this box? They look like dumbbells. Yeah, they are. I ordered them. Are you going to start doing strength training? Yes, I am. Older women can look after their health too, you know. Way to go, Mom. You're going to be in better shape than me in no time. Oh, by the way, Mom, who is this? This is your brother's girlfriend, apparently. Why don't you come and say hi? Blair, this is Stephanie, Steven's twin sister. I'm sure he will have mentioned her once or twice before. It makes me uncomfortable how she's lounging around like she owns the place when she's only been here for 5 minutes. I can just tell that she and I are not going to get on at all. Oh, did Steven get a new girlfriend already? No. This is the same one he was dating before. Apparently, they're getting back together. Oh, well, he never said anything about that, so I'm a little surprised. I didn't have him down as the type to go back to an ex after they ended things already. Where is he, by the way? He's not home. He seems to have told her the address, and she decided to come here by herself. Oh, okay. The whole situation seems a little weird to me, if I'm honest. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hi, it's so nice to meet you. As my mom said already, I'm Stephanie, Steven's younger twin sister.
Hi there. I'm Blair.
Mom? Don't you think it's a little rude that she sat there greeting me from the sofa, not even bothering to get up, when this isn't even her own house? I guess she is 8 years younger than me. Maybe I'm being too traditional.
I'm sorry if I offended you, but I didn't really think I needed to stand up to say hello when you're just his younger twin sister. If anything, you should be showing me more respect as the person who's going to be marrying your older brother.
He's only older than me by 5 minutes. And it's not like you're married yet, are you? Will you two stop it already?
You're right. I'm sorry. It is really nice to meet you, Stephanie.
It's really nice to meet you too. But Mom, shouldn't Steven really be here to introduce her to us properly? I find it so weird that he isn't here right now. I'm sure he has his reasons. Why don't you go and get some tea or coffee and some snacks? Would you like to have something to drink, Blair? Do you like tea?
Could you get me something cold instead? It's really hot in here without the aircon turned on. Is it all right if I turn it on myself?
Ah, yes, of course. I'm sorry. We tend not to turn it on because none of us like the sensation of the wind in our faces. Go ahead and turn it on if you like. She didn't have to be so passive-aggressive about the whole thing.
Are you sure it isn't because you want to save on the electricity bills?
No, of course not.
Even if that is the case, I'm a guest. Shouldn't you be willing to make an exception for me? And the gifts I bought you are probably worth way more than your electricity bill for the month. So it's not like you're even losing out on anything.
I can't believe her audacity. I can't stand her right from the get-go. Steven? What is it?
You should have been here when your girlfriend came to visit earlier. It was weird. And anyway, did you not break up with her?
Yeah, we broke up, but we ended up getting back together.
There's something I don't really understand.
What don't you understand?
Well, she's obviously not stupid if she works at your company, because I know that it isn't easy to get into. She obviously went to a good university and clearly isn't lacking money. Why is she in such a hurry to get married to somebody 8 years older than her, when she's at the age where she should be enjoying her freedom?
Why are you pretending to be concerned for her when it's obvious you don't even like her?
How did you know that I didn't like her?
Well, I know that you're good friends with Monica, who works at our company, and I know that Monica doesn't like her. I figured Monica probably badmouthed her to you and gave you a bad impression of her.
Surely it doesn't bode well if you know that your coworkers don't like her. But her behavior when she was here today demonstrated that everything Monica told me about her was true.
Well, I'll admit that she was a little spoiled growing up. She's the only child of rich parents, so she was coddled a little, and I don't think they ever once said no to her. I'm confident with time she'll grow out of her princess syndrome and finally learn how to be a real adult.
Well, can't you wait until she's grown out of it to marry her? I really don't get what the rush is, to be honest.
I don't appreciate your attitude towards my fiancé. I've decided that I want to marry her, and I'm going to marry her no matter what you say.
I understand that she was the spoilt only child, but I really don't think that excuses the way she acted when she introduced herself to us for the first time.
I really don't like how you've decided to take against her straight away without even giving her a chance.
I'm not going to be rude to her face, of course, but I'm telling you to make sure she minds her manners from now on, otherwise I'm going to find it difficult to be around her. And I still can't get over the fact that she came to introduce herself to us without you.
It was because we had a fight just before then.
Well, then she just shouldn't have come today, should she? Do you know what she said earlier? She asked Mom if we didn't turn the aircon on because we were worried about saving money on the electricity bill. Then she just took the remote and decided to turn it on herself.
Is that really such a big deal?
But it's not even hot enough to turn the aircon on yet. It's only June. I would understand if it were July or August, but it isn't July or August. It was as if Mom and I were guests in her home, not the other way around. I really couldn't believe that she thought that was an acceptable way to introduce herself to her future husband's family.
She's just a little immature. I'm sure if you give her a little time, she'll stop acting like that.
Is her dad really a university professor? For someone who spends all his day disciplining students, he hasn't done a very good job of disciplining his own daughter.
I don't know why you're being so harsh to her when you honestly haven't really got anything to brag about. And he was a university professor, but now he works for our company.
Ah, I see. So that's how it is. I'm not trying to say I'm better than her or anything like that. I'm just saying that I would really appreciate it if she would deign to behave properly around us. If she really is the daughter of a former Ivy League professor, went to a prestigious university herself, and has a great, high-paying job, then she really is the elite of the elite. Which is amazing, but that doesn't mean that she can be rude and dismissive towards people whenever she feels like it.
She just doesn't really know how to behave sometimes.
But my point is that if she's well-bred and well-educated, she should know how to behave. If she had grown up an orphan and not had access to quality education, then I would understand. I didn't want to bring this up, but you forced me into a corner now. She was drinking juice and then she spilt it on herself by accident. She didn't even get up, and instead she looked me straight in the eye and said, "Tissue." She didn't even say please or anything like that.
I guess we're going to have to start establishing some rules then.
What are you talking about?
Establishing some rules.
There shouldn't need to be rules. I just need to be assured that your fiancé is going to learn how to show common courtesy to others.
I think we need to make a rule that when we're in my house, she doesn't have to do anything to help out. And when we're in hers, I don't have to do anything to help out either. That way you won't be able to curse her out again.
Do you really love her this much? Is she really worth annoying your family like this?
Wait until you find the person you want to marry. I'm sure you wouldn't like it if I went around bad-mouthing them.
Well, I have no interest in getting married, to be honest. It all seems like way more trouble than it's worth. I have a feeling this marriage of my brother's is going to end up causing trouble for the whole family.
I really don't know what I've gotten myself into. Well, Blair's dad is actually my direct superior at work, so it seems like your brother is trying to do a little bit of networking to try and climb the corporate ladder faster. Oh, really? That explains a lot then. I knew he couldn't really be in love with that charmless brat of a girl. Honestly, even though we were literally in the womb together, I can't understand him at all. We are just completely fundamentally different. I just don't understand his way of thinking at all. If there's one thing I've learned from working with your brother for the past 5 years, is that he's ambitious. That I do know. He's always been like that, ever since he was young. I don't think you quite understand the extent of it. And I think their engagement is a win-win situation for both your brother and Blair. She's got a bit of a mean streak and isn't well liked in the company. So she's probably seen how good your brother is at climbing the ranks and is hoping to install him as associate director so she has someone who is respected by the other employees in her corner. I know you don't really know how the corporate world works because you've been a teacher for your whole career, but the dog-eat-dog reality of the corporate food chain really is no joke. I suppose competition must be quite fierce. From my experience working various part-time jobs and at a large corporation since my college days, I've found that there are significantly fewer weirdos when you work at a large corporation. Oh, really? The ratio of normal people to weirdos in large corporations is often the opposite of what you find in other companies. But that doesn't mean that you don't find them every now and again. I'm not necessarily saying that your future sister-in-law is a weirdo, but it is strange that she acts the way she does when she has such a great education and a successful father who doted on her. She's definitely a special one, to say the least. How is Shelby? Did she arrive at her new place in LA okay? I'm a little worried about her. I know she was really excited about getting transferred, but LA is still a really long way away from home. Our company has been doing a lot of moving around of employees recently, and I'm worried that this kind of upheaval is going to affect her work as well. Oh, it's fine. Your little sister is an adventurous one. She loves being by the seaside, and she's really excited to have been transferred to an office not too far from the sea. She's having all sorts of fantasies about spending her weekends at Venice Beach or Palm Springs or whatever. She thinks she's going to be living the celebrity lifestyle out there.
Yeah, she's very adaptable, so I wouldn't be worrying about her. Your mother and I aren't worried at all.
I'm just proud to have 2 of my 3 children working for such a prestigious company. With you in the New York office and her in the LA office, I'm sure you'll be able to have lots of influence. Anyway, I'm so jealous that you guys got to go to Hawaii for your honeymoon. I haven't been there for years. I would love to go again sometime soon. Hawaii isn't how it used to be, you know, Mom. It's become a crazy resort now with so many tourists coming and going. Should I get you a glass of water, Dad?
Oh, yes, please. A room temperature one.
Of course, Dad. I know you don't like to drink cold water.
Oh, Stephanie, could you get me a glass of water as well, please? With ice.
If she wanted one, she should have just gone and got one for herself and volunteered to get one for my dad at the same time. I'm not here to be at her beck and call. If she doesn't want it enough to go and get it herself, then she obviously doesn't want it that badly at all. I can't let this slide. I really want to say something to her, but we're at the dinner table, so it really isn't the best time. Blair?
Yes?
You must be tired.
Yes, I am so tired that I think I might pass out after this meal.
Then you should go and get some rest as soon as we've finished eating. Don't feel like you have to stay for dessert if you don't feel like it.
What is this, by the way?
It's curry, right, Mom? Yes, that's right. It's bean curry. I put some extra coconut in because Steven said you don't like spicy food too much, Blair.
It's really, really tasty.
Oh, Blair.
Yes, Kim?
Did you call your parents and tell them that you arrived safely?
Yes, of course I did. My mom wanted to hear all the details about the trip.
Stephanie, I feel bad that you're running around doing errands even during dinner time, but would you be able to go and get me another serving?
Yes, of course, Dad. It's really tasty, isn't it?
Well, your mother is a culinary genius after all.
Why don't you ask her to get you some more as well, Steven? You've almost finished your bowl.
This is my mom's specialty, so every time she cooks it, I just can't get enough.
Stephanie! Bring some more for your brother as well, will you?
Am I the only one who thinks her behavior is strange? Am I the only one who thinks she's going out of her way to inconvenience me?
Hey, Stephanie!
Yes, Blair?
A red light is flashing on the water purifier.
Yes, I know. The engineer is coming to take a look at it tomorrow.
Ah, I see.
By the way, Blair,
Yes?
are you busy right now?
No, not really. Why do you ask?
Where's Steven? Did he go out somewhere?
Yeah, he went to go and buy something from the store.
Well, I'm here doing the dishes by myself right now, and I'm sure it wouldn't hurt for you to help me out here. I really don't like the feeling that I'm slowly becoming my sister-in-law's domestic servant. And the fact that she's 8 years younger than me annoys me even more. I feel really disrespected that I'm here doing the chores when she's just lounging around on the couch. I really don't think I'm being unreasonable in calling her out here. Before you got married to my brother, you came and had dinner here with us 3 times, right?
Yes, that's right.
I didn't ask you to help me do the dishes then because I still considered you as a guest. But I would really appreciate it if you would start helping me out a little now that you're a fully fledged member of the family.
Oh, but I never did the dishes at my parents' house.
Well, yes, I know that. But that's because you had a live-in housekeeper to do that for you at your parents' house, didn't you? But this isn't your parents' house, and I would appreciate it if you would understand that things are different here.
Next time I'll bring the plates and cutlery I used over to the sink so that it will be easier for you to wash them. Sorry!
Sorry? That's all she can say?
Oh, by the way, I don't think you're scrubbing that frying pan thoroughly enough.
Excuse me?
If you want to get it cleaned properly, you need to scrub it 3 or 4 times, you know?
I can't believe she has the audacity to stand there and criticize how I'm washing the dishes when she refuses to actually help out. Blair, if you're just going to stand there and criticize me, you might as well actually help me out. If you know enough about washing frying pans, you should be able to do it for yourself, shouldn't you?
Blair, do you know what happened when my mom first married into my dad's family? My aunt tried to make her wash the dishes and do other chores, but my grandma insisted that she shouldn't, because a daughter-in-law is essentially a guest in the home.
Wow, that was very progressive of her.
And you know what? After that, my mom continued washing the dishes for my grandma, even though she told her not to. Do you know why that was? It was because she felt happy to, and she wanted to do it out of the goodness of her heart, because my grandma wasn't forcing her to do it and making her feel like it was her duty.
Aw, that's such a sweet story. It really brings a tear to my eyes.
It does, doesn't it?
But to be honest, it doesn't really have anything to do with our current situation. What on earth is wrong with this girl? What are you two chatting away about here in the kitchen? You're so loud we can hear you all the way in the living room. It's Blair's first time at our house since the wedding, and you're already having arguments about the chores. Stephanie, if it's that important to you, surely you should be focusing on finishing the task at hand instead of wasting time complaining. Sorry, Mom. Forget it. I just don't want to hear any more raised voices, okay? How can she just be standing there looking at her phone when her mother-in-law is clearly talking to the both of us? I feel like that's really disrespectful. Really, what planet did that brother of mine find this girl on? I'm trying to exercise, but I can't focus because of you. Mom, you need to focus on your form when holding your dumbbells. You're just going to end up hurting your wrists. I know what I'm doing, thank you very much. I don't need your interference. Does that situation make any sense to you? Stephanie, I know this isn't what you want to hear, but this is the 21st century, and not every daughter-in-law is expected to do the chores at her in-law's house. I know. I know that we've come far with women's rights, and I'm really happy about that because I wouldn't want to feel like I had to be confined to the kitchen doing chores. But still, she needs to stop acting so entitled. I know that I could be in the wrong, but I can't help but feel that something's not quite right here. I keep second-guessing myself and asking myself whether I'm actually the one who is overstepping the mark. I guess because eating out and ordering takeout is becoming more and more accessible these days. There are less issues surrounding who cooks and who does the dishes in a household.
Am I weird and backwards then, for expecting her to help me out?
Well, in my case, I just help my mother-in-law out whenever she asks me. But normally my husband does things when we're at his parents' house and I do things when we're at my parents' house. Isn't that what your brother said he wanted to do before he got married?
Yeah, it is.
These days, daughters of sons-in-law are not as entrenched in the family they married into as they used to be, you know?
That's why I keep asking you if you think the way I'm acting is abnormal.
I think it's best to just not expect her to help you out with the chores as a given. She's more like a friend than an extra family member, really. So it's better to not overcomplicate your relationship with her.
I guess I really was the one overstepping the mark then.
But I will tell you one thing. I think that what she said about her grandmother was weird. And she didn't need to go that far. That was condescending. I think she should be a little more considerate about her word choices. If I were your brother, I would have taken my chance to call off the engagement and run for the hills. Even though your point of view may have been wrong in general, I do agree that your sister-in-law as an individual is a total psycho. Ordering you around to do things as if you were just there to be her little helper isn't okay either.
You think you're annoyed just hearing about it? Imagine how annoyed I am having to deal with her in my house.
I think the main problem here is your brother thrusting her on your family and expecting you to deal with her.
Oh, he's over the moon that he finally got what he wanted. He doesn't care whether I'm suffering or not.
Oh, and by the way, things are really not good at work at the moment.
Oh, really? Why?
There are rumors about forced early retirement even spreading to the subsidiaries, so the managers and other higher-ups are all on high alert. Should I try to get some help from your brother? Maybe benefit from his in-laws' connections.
I don't know. As you know, my younger sister Shelby also works for your company, but she's been transferred to the other side of the country, so that doesn't bode well. My mom was talking about it as if it was a good thing, but I'm not sure if it is, to be honest.
Well, at least your brother and Blair say they'll come the day before Thanksgiving. I thought they wouldn't come at all to help with the food preparation. I wouldn't heap too much praise on them if I were you, Mom. What do you mean?
Well, in their corporate world, there's an unspoken culture where they pay more attention to employees who look like they have a harmonious family, such as those with many children, and those who seem to be good in their spouse's family. They look through employees' personal social media accounts and check the photos and posts.
So you're saying that they're essentially just coming here to do a photo shoot?
Who knows what their real intentions could be?
Don't be like that, Stephanie. It's their first Thanksgiving since they got married, and they might just be trying their best to make time for family.
Yeah, sure. You can believe that if you really want to.
Just leave it already and stop being so negative all the time. You have a strong personality, too, and that's a huge part of the problem. How would you like it if you got married and ended up with a sister-in-law who nagged like you do with Blair?
Mom, don't come for my personality like that.
Honestly, kids these days get divorced like it's nothing. If Stephen and Blair do end up divorcing, I would bet that they cite you as the reason. And nobody wants to be known as the sister-in-law from hell who drove her brother's wife away with her nagging, do they?
So that's why you're being so submissive to Blair and not saying anything when she steps out of line? Because you don't want the embarrassment of a divorce in the family?
I don't think that's any way to talk to your mother now. Do you?
All I'm saying is that I'd appreciate it if you called her out on her unacceptable behavior every now and again.
Why should I? We don't really see her that often anyway, so I don't see what I would gain from doing that. Her bad behavior is Stephen's problem, not ours. If she isn't going to grow up, he's the one who is ultimately going to have to deal with it. And anyway, I feel like you and the way you decide to talk to people is more of a problem than her being a spoiled brat. You annoyed me just then, and I'm your own mother who is used to living with you. Imagine how annoyed Blair must be when she hears you speak like that. Are you ready to take responsibility for them getting a divorce? Are you? Nobody puts up with in-laws that give them a hard time these days, you know.
Why are you saying this anyway? Do you think she sits there threatening to divorce Stephen several times a day?
I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, Young people these days get divorced for little or no reason. They'll make a snap decision to get divorced and think nothing of it. You youngsters have no patience and like to run away as soon as you catch sight of people's flaws. Marriage is just a joke to them, so getting divorced is an even bigger joke. Marriage is no longer sacred. See, this is what I want to see. Next time Blair does something wrong, I want to see you get angry and start ranting like this. Hey, Blair.
Yeah, Stephanie?
Would you be able to come and help me for a second? I've got so much to do to prepare the dinner. I just need a little breather.
Stephanie, you know the rules. I don't do anything to help around the house when I'm under your roof.
Are you seriously sticking to that silly promise you made before you got married?
The rules are the rules.
It's not like I'm asking much of you. I'm just asking you to lend a hand for a couple of minutes.
I'm going to my parents' house in a minute anyway, so there's no use in me starting to do something when I'm going to have to drop it and leave soon anyway. Stephen can help you do it when he comes in.
Are you not taking Stephen with you to say hi to your parents?
No, I'm not. We decided that we were going to spend Thanksgiving separately. Him here and me at my parents' house.
That sounds like a pretty good way to do things, to be honest.
Why don't you find a nice guy and get married soon? Then you'll see the benefits to having this kind of agreement. It leads to way fewer disagreements.
Then why did you come here today if that was the plan all along?
I just thought it would be nice for me to show my face here for a little while since it's Thanksgiving.
I bet it's so she could take pictures of her taking care of her in-laws. Well then, since you're here, you can help by washing those 4 frying pans that are on the side getting in the way. Are you really going to leave me and Stephen to do everything? Stephen isn't even here right now.
He just wants to meet his friends for coffee real quick. I'm sure he'll be here soon. You two will be more than capable of getting the job done together when he comes back. Oh, and don't forget to wash the dishes thoroughly this time.
You really are getting more and more brazen, aren't you? Is this promise to only help out at your own houses really so important that you can't just be a decent person and help out of the kindness of your own heart? Is it really that important to stick to your principles so rigidly that you won't even help out someone who is clearly struggling with their workload?
Why are you complaining so much? Stephen said he'll take over from you when he gets back.
But my parents have gone out for a walk, so it's literally just you and me here right now. I really don't get what's so bad about helping me out a little.
Well, I helped you chop the vegetables earlier, didn't I?
Oh wow, how impressive. You really saved the day there. You were only doing that for the photos as well, I'm sure.
So you see, I did go out of my way to do something, even if it did mean I ended up going against the agreement. And besides, I won't even be eating the meal that you're preparing right now since I'll be going to my parents for dinner. So what's even the point in me doing anything?
It's just polite to help someone that's struggling, okay?
Well, I'm sorry that we both have different ideas about what's polite.
I just don't get how you didn't even bother to clear your plates off the table to make things easier for the person washing the dishes.
I told you that it just didn't occur to me because I never did things like that at my parents' house.
I still don't think that's an acceptable excuse for you to literally be going out of your way to avoid doing the acceptable thing because it violates your silly rules.
I really don't appreciate the way you're talking to me right now.
My siblings and I were taught these kinds of basic manners very early on in our childhood. But it's very clear that you were spoiled and coddled to the point that you don't even know how to do these things.
Well, then that explains why it's a habit for you, but it isn't for me.
Wow, you're seriously driving me crazy here. You can develop new habits at any age, you know. Maybe it's about time you started getting some good ones. Why are you making such a big fuss about doing even the smallest of things?
I don't think I'm making a fuss at all.
Well, I think you are. When Stephen was cooking earlier, you should at least have made an attempt to try and help him out. Or even a show of pretense would be fine too. And you never listen to my mom or show respect to her either, which I also find quite upsetting.
Well, she never lets me get a word in edgeways, so what's even the point in listening to her?
And if you're going to criticize my way of doing things, you might as well take over yourself and show me how it's done.
But why should I? I told you we already have an agreement that I'm not going to do those things. I don't know why you keep bringing this up when you know about the rules we agreed on.
Why? Because you're a part of this family now, aren't you?
Just because I married your brother, that doesn't mean that you and I are family. We don't really need to have anything to do with each other, do we?
Well, if you think we don't need to have anything to do with each other, then you can stop asking me to fetch things for you. There she goes again, acting like I'm an intruder in her house.
What did you just say?
I just think that everyone, including my parents, will like you a little more if you show some kind of willing to make an effort when you come and visit.
There are other ways that I can do things with your parents that don't include working in the kitchen.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, I sit with them and watch TV for starters. And it's not like I ever asked to have a relationship with them. A year ago, I didn't even know them. So don't you think it's weird that I'm expected to come here and act like I'm part of the family and do things for them?
Well, according to your logic, you wouldn't get married and move in with a man you didn't know a few years ago, would you? Do you realize how ridiculous that sounds? That would mean that nobody would have any kind of relationship with anybody they didn't know their entire lives. And besides, it's normal for people to offer to help out when they come to their house for Thanksgiving. Why do you have to act like it's the biggest chore in the world? Have you just come here to observe how poor people live their lives from your spoilt rich girl pedestal?
Stephanie, let me tell you something.
What?
If you were to come over to my house, I would happily be doing all of these things for you.
Oh, would you? But don't you have a housekeeper to do these things?
Well, yes, but she goes back to her hometown to see her own family on Thanksgiving.
Ah, I see.
So if Stephen were to come to my house for Thanksgiving, I would be absolutely fine with him relaxing on the sofa while I do the dishes, and nobody else would bat an eyelid.
Well, I think that it would be unacceptable behavior for him to go to your parents' house and act the way you're acting right now.
Excuse me?
I'm saying that I don't have a personal vendetta against you, and I don't want you to help out just because this is my house. I think exactly the same should apply to my brother when he goes to your house. I feel like your silly rules are disrespectful to the people around you, and they make you out to look really rude.
Well, that may be the way you think, but I can guarantee you that not everyone thinks that way. We all already agreed on the rules a long time ago. To be honest, I don't really believe you when you say that you think we should both help out when we go to each other's houses. I think you just think that I should, because you're too traditional and backwards and you believe that daughters-in-law should do all the domestic chores and basically be their in-law's servant.
I don't think that at all. I just think that you should try and be a decent person every now and again.
Well, I'm feeling very persecuted, to be honest. And I think the way you're treating me right now is really unfair. How would you like it if you had a sister-in-law who spoke to you the way you're speaking to me right now?
Well, for starters, I would never act the way you're acting towards my sister-in-law if I had one. So I don't think I could even imagine being in your situation right now. My elderly parents have gone for a quick walk after spending the whole day preparing food. My sister is on the other side of the country and wasn't able to make it this year. And my brother had to go out for a second because he's meeting a friend who is very sick with cancer who doesn't know if he's going to be around for the next holiday season. Who does that leave here in the house? Oh, that's right. Just you and me. You can see how much I have to do here. Is it really that important to stick to the rules right now?
Whatever the situation, I think you're out of line for not respecting the agreement I have with your brother.
So you don't have to do the dishes because of a silly set of rules laid out between you and your husband, which I never agreed to respect, by the way. And you're allowed to just sit there watching TV and playing on your phone all day. And because I'm part of your husband's family, I can't complain or show any dissatisfaction about your rules. It's just ridiculous.
It doesn't matter what you say. I'm not going to deviate from the rules. Anyway, what's taking Stephen so long? He said he wouldn't be more than an hour. I guess I'll just leave if he's not coming back anytime soon.
You're not even going to stay to say hi to my parents?
There's no point in me hanging around any longer when I already told my parents I'd be there soon. I'm leaving now. Make sure you mop the floor thoroughly as well, because I can see a few spills.
Can't she see that my hands are already full? Surely it wouldn't be that hard for her to quickly clean the mess she noticed on her way out. But I guess even that is too much to ask.
Even though I refuse to do any work here, that doesn't mean I don't care about things. So I'll just point out a few things I think you need to do before I go.
Okay. I officially give up on this girl. Mom, I really don't understand why you felt the need to hire a housekeeper in the first place, let alone be having her noisily clean the house when it's not even 9 a.m. I just thought it would be nice to have the house all spick and span all the time. Yeah, but can't you and I just do the cleaning? There's no need to pay someone to do it. There's too much to do with your brother and sister-in-law coming over later and everything. If it were just the two of us handling it, we'd be exhausted. Yeah. We're having a dinner to celebrate Blair's birthday, aren't we? Exactly. Which is all the more reason to have the housekeeper do the cleaning. Who is this housekeeper anyway? Is it Pauline, the same lady who used to work for Aunt Patsy? You're right! How did you know that? I just figured it was probably her because she came to help out that time that you couldn't do anything because you injured your back a few years ago. Yes, you're right. What are we having for dinner? We're having T-bone steak, roasted potatoes, and Mediterranean vegetables. Oh, nice. I prepared everything in advance yesterday while you were at work. All I need to do today is prepare the desserts and entrees. Oh, wow, fancy. It's a whole 3-course meal. Well, because Blair comes from a rich family, I wanted to make sure that everything was to her taste. If I'd known you were going to do all the prep yesterday, I would have come home early to help you. I figured you would just make snarky comments about how Blair doesn't deserve us going to all this effort for her, so I thought it was best for me to just do it by myself. Well, you would be right. What has she ever done for you to deserve this princess treatment? Even so, it's her first birthday since she married your brother, and I wanted to make it as nice as possible for her. But we haven't even seen her face once in the last 6 months. I think Thanksgiving was the last time I saw her. Well, I'm sure they've got lots to do fixing up their new place and making it a home. Between that and going to work, I'm sure they don't have time to come and visit the likes of us. I'm so happy to have the housekeeper here taking the weight off my shoulders. I should have hired her years ago. I have a bad feeling that things are not going to go well tonight. It's been a while, Blair.
Yeah, nice to see you.
She doesn't even care enough to say hi properly. She didn't even bother to look me in the eye. Since we're all here to celebrate your birthday today, I think it will be best for us to put any disagreements behind us and agree to get along with each other. What do you say? Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks.
Here, this is for you.
You got me a gift?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can't explode at her today. It's her birthday. Okay, I think everybody has made themselves comfortable. Please go ahead and tuck in. Pauline, you can stop working now. You must be really hungry, so why don't you come and sit and eat with us?
Oh, thank you so much, Kim. I'll just finish washing these dishes and then I'll come and join you.
Thank you for going to all this effort for Blair's birthday, Mom. We really appreciate it. Well, I really hope you enjoy the food. I noticed that Blair didn't thank her. She had to get that insufferable brother of mine to thank my mom on her behalf. How can she just sit there and carry on eating without so much as saying the words thank you herself? I wanted to do something special since it's Blair's first birthday since you two got married. I was worried you two would already have plans, so thank you for making time to spend the evening with us.
You're a lucky young lady to have such doting in-laws willing to go to all this trouble for you. Excuse me? Are you the housekeeper? Why, yes. Yes, I am. Then why are you sitting out to the table with us? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I was such an inconvenience.
Blair, what are you doing? Blair, please!
This is a party for our family, and last time I checked, you weren't a family member. So I don't know what you're doing sitting at the table.
Blair, stop it already!
Blair, listen to your mother-in-law!
Do you all not think it's weird? Why would she be joining us? My parents' housekeeper has been working for them for the past 10 years, and even she doesn't get to sit at the table to eat with them. She eats her dinner quietly by herself somewhere else. There needs to be a clear line between family and the staff. We don't want them getting ideas about their station now, do we?
Blair,
What is it?
are your family royals or something? Because that would be the only explanation I would accept for your disgustingly entitled behavior.
Excuse me? What did you just say to me?
Stephanie, please, don't start now.
Blair, there's something I'd like to say to you.
What is it, Kim?
I'd really appreciate it from now on if you kept your opinions to yourself at the dinner table. Even if you want to say something, if it could be taken as out of line, then I would rather you didn't say it at all. Do you understand me?
But Kim, I don't see that there's anything wrong with what I said.
Honey, I think it's best that you don't say anything else.
Oh, goodness. I just remembered that I have plans this evening. I'm such a scatterbrain. Always forgetting things like this. I had better get going. And me staying for dinner seems to cause more trouble than it's worth, so I'll just leave you all to sort things out between you.
Pauline, I am so sorry. I cannot apologize to you enough. I'll send you your pay for today straight away, and I'll also give you the money for a taxi. Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry. I've been so flustered that my hands appear to be shaking. Oh, silly me. There's not enough cash in here to pay for a taxi. Mom, here's my wallet. There should be enough cash in there. Pauline, please do stay and eat dinner with us. You've more than earned it after all the hard work you have done for us today. I will also offer you my sincere apologies for the way that you've been treated this evening.
What's wrong with them all? Why are they so concerned about the stupid housekeeper? She's just a housekeeper. It's not like her feelings matter or anything like that. What's wrong with you?
Let's go and carry on talking in our room, shall we? I don't want to cause a scene.
But I didn't say anything wrong. The housekeeper shouldn't be sitting at the table with us like that. And today is my birthday. Everyone should be nice to me on my birthday and do what I want. But instead, you're all treating me like I'm some kind of monster. Also, why are you just getting mad at me when Stephanie was so blatantly rude to me at the dinner table? She is always causing trouble for me.
Show a little respect for your sister-in-law, will you? Blair, you're the one that has done nothing but cause trouble every time you've come to this house.
Who do you think you are, anyway? What gives you the right to talk to me like this?
Stephanie, please be quiet. Why should I? I've put up with her behavior for long enough now. She orders me around like I'm some kind of domestic servant and refuses to lift a finger to do anything. She won't even get a glass of water for herself. I said be quiet, Stephanie.
Honey, what on earth is wrong with your family? Why won't your parents say a word in my defense when I'm obviously in the right in this situation? There really is no hope for this family. All your priorities are just wrong.
Listen to you. This is the epitome of the pot calling the kettle black.
Hey, why are you pushing me?
Hurry up and get into the room now so we can talk about this without involving my family any further. You've already upset them enough this evening. Are you proud of yourself right now? Are you proud of yourself for blatantly looking down on someone and thinking less of them because of their profession? Did I or did I not tell you that I hated it when you did things like this? Did I or did I not tell you that I hate it when you're rude to the staff in cafes or restaurants because you think you're somehow better than them? This situation is no different. Why do you never learn from your past mistakes?
But this isn't a cafe or a restaurant. We're not in a public place or anything. And you told me to feel at home at your parents' house. How can I when I feel uncomfortable with the housekeeper thinking she has the right to sit with us? Hey, there's no need to push me again. Let go of my shoulders.
Will you just shut up for a second, Blair? You're in the wrong and you know it.
No, I don't know it. I don't understand what I've done wrong.
Will you stop crying like some kind of spoilt brat and keep your mouth shut for 5 seconds?
I won't. I won't because I haven't done anything wrong. This whole situation is so unfair. There's something wrong with all of you. You're all weird and I don't like it. doing?
Mom, what are you doing with those dumbbells?
Mom! Where do you think you're going with those?
You insolent girl! You don't know how to respect your elders, and you clearly don't know when you're in the wrong. I have reached my absolute limit with you. If you don't shut your mouth right now, I really don't know what I might do. I'm so angry I don't even know myself right now. Mom, please, calm down and put the dumbbells down. What's gotten into you? Mom, you just threatened violence. That's crossing a line, don't you think?
Kim, please.
I think you seem to have forgotten that you can't just behave however you like in our house. We're not just going to let everything slide like your parents do, I'm afraid. You seem to have forgotten that you're a guest in your in-laws' house right now. And you do not, in fact, own the place. Honestly, throwing a tantrum like some kind of spoiled child. Are you not embarrassed of yourself? I had given up on trying to make you behave like an adult, and I thought I could put up with it as long as you didn't cause a scene. But today you've really pushed all of my buttons. If I go to an early grave, it will be because of you!
I had no idea she had this much energy. I guess all that exercise has paid off. Her aches and pains all seem to have gone away. I should take note and try to be more careful around her from now on. It's definitely to my advantage to stay on her good side.
After that incident, my brother and his wife ended up cutting all contact with my family. In my opinion, it's for the best, because seeing them was never something I particularly enjoyed. Now and then, I think about the look in my sister-in-law's eyes when she saw my mom pick up those dumbbells as if to attack her with them. It gives me a sadistic sense of satisfaction to think about how afraid she must have been in that moment. Am I a bad person? Perhaps, but oh well. My brother's company went ahead and forced a lot of early retirements, and thanks to that, some of the higher-ups who were in the way of his path to success were out of the picture. Along with some help from his father-in-law, he was able to secure the associate director position he wanted so much. However, my sister-in-law ended up quitting her job at that company. My brother and his wife have decided to focus more on supporting each other and seem to have enforced a new set of rules about that. The problem is that due to the wave of early retirements, an executive at the level of a CEO has become my brother's direct superior. Apparently, in their line of work, it's like an unspoken form of slavery with power struggles among the executives and mistreatment of subordinates. If my brother wants to keep his position, he and his wife have no choice but to suck up to the new executive director and his wife. My sister-in-law gets dragged to the executive's house to do all sorts of things with his wife, spending her weekends playing golf with them and participating in a bunch of different events. Apparently, she's living as if she has to use 48 hours in a 24-hour day, and it's taking up more of her time and energy than actually working at the company did. According to my best friend Monica, who works at their company, it's only a matter of time before she starts to look like a shell of her former self from the exhaustion. Monica says that it seems my sister-in-law is turning into a wreck, not even looking human anymore. How satisfying. After the way that she looked down on people like housekeepers and acted all entitled about not having to do anything in our house, it's quite fitting that she should end up no better than a lackey to someone richer and more powerful than herself. Apparently, she even does the executive director's wife's shopping for her and even carries her stuff to the car. She really does like to stick to the rules. And I guess her one merit is that once she decides to do that, she won't go back on her word. It seems they agreed that if either of them breaks the rules, they will get a divorce immediately, and the one who broke the rules will get absolutely nothing in the settlement. Neither of them seem to want that to happen, and that's why my sister-in-law is putting up with this situation. This is what you get for insisting on not doing the dishes at someone else's house. Karma always finds its way back to people. My twin brother is now nothing more than the executive director's personal lackey, and he can never say no when he offers him a drink. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a call from him saying he needs a liver transplant sometime soon. But at least they can both rest assured that as long as they carry on sucking up to the executive director and his wife, my brother is never going to get fired from that company. Thank you for listening! Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more videos. And if you like what you heard today, why not leave us a comment in the comment section down below. See you in the next video.